The ultimate dream for every landlord is to find a reliable tenant who will pay them on time and will look after the property very well. So it goes on as a relationship. Your property is your product and your tenant is your customer. It's a relationship that needs to be mutually respected and agreed. So in this video, I am going to discuss with you 6 top tips on what you can do to keep your tenant happy. Hello everyone, if you're new here, my name is Abbas Pardhan. I'm a property investor and I'm an owner of an estate agency called 10x Rising. On this channel, I share with you the insight of what we go through on a day-to-day basis that may help you on your property journey. So if you enjoy the content, please smash the like button, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you do not miss the next videos. First thing you need to do is make your tenancy agreement and your expectations very clear from the very beginning. So if you are not letting out your property via an estate agent, you need to have a tenancy agreement that clearly states out what's the tenant's responsibilities and what is yours. So if you're not very clear about that from the very offset, then it will bring some misunderstandings or hiccups along the tenancy. So when you have a tenancy agreement, you're going to have expectations and so does your tenant have expectations. So both of you have to abide by them to have a healthy relationship. I'm going to be honest with you, there's some tenants of our agency that really like us, but there's some tenants that don't like us at all because we expect the rent to be paid on time, whereas they expect if there's any maintenance, we should sort it on time. So if we've got a tenant who doesn't pay on time but then expects us to do everything the right way and we do it, that's not fair, is it? It's like me walking into a supermarket, taking whatever I want and just walking out without paying. That's not fair. So we evict tenants that don't pay. If it's a commercial tenant, well, we have many commercial tenants that don't like us because if they don't pay us on time, we're gonna get a debt collection agency involved and ruin their credit because it's only fair that they pay us if they're using our services. So very important, make your expectations very clear from the very offset. What you're gonna do, what you expect them to do. And if they're late in paying their payments, what are you gonna do about it? Make it very clear from the offset. Second thing to keep your tenants happy is that you should respond to maintenance work in a very timely manner, in a reasonable amount of time. If there's a leak in the property, you wouldn't like to live in a property where it's leaking or there's damp in the wall. So if it's non-urgent, maximum you should take to get it sorted is 1 week. So if there's going to be any urgent repairs to be done, like leakages, it's not only going to make the tenant unhappy to be living in there, but it's also deteriorating your own property. So get things done quicker. Have a routine scheduled up on how you're going to deal with maintenance. A lot of landlords do procrastinate on that because it's going to cost them money. But then think about it. You want your tenant happy. Fix their issues so they can continue renting from you rather than they leaving when their tenancy is ended and then you having to find another good tenant. The third tip is that if your tenant approaches you with any complaints, just try to resolve that as soon as you can. I'll give you an example. We had a tenant in an apartment. The apartment was a leasehold property and the tenant lost their fob. So they needed a new fob to enter the building. They had the keys to their flat, but they lost the fob. So now we're not the manager for the freeholder. We just manage the flat. So it was our responsibility then to chase the freeholder's management company to get them to issue us a fob. Honestly, under normal circumstances, this should have been done within 24 hours. But we had to keep chasing the agent who was responsible for the freeholder, and they took a really long time. Guess what? Our tenant was unhappy with us, and that's only fair because they expect us to get things done right away. And that's why I personally stay away from buying leasehold properties because I don't want to hand over that control to a freeholder or his management company and they take us for a ride. So if there's any issues or complaints brought up by your tenant, whether that's security or maintenance work, just try get that resolved ASAP and they will be quite happy about it. They will appreciate that. The fourth thing that you should do to keep your tenant happy is that respect their privacy. If you want to go in for an inspection, then at least give a 48 hours notice. Generally, we visit our properties once every 6 months as an inspection. That way we get to see if there's any maintenance work in the property and or how the tenant is maintaining the property in the first place. So you should do that too, but respect their privacy. Let them know in advance if you're going to go in there to inspect the property. So if you're just going to drop in there unannounced to see your own property, it does come off a bit rude and disrespectful. So just give them a notice, respect their privacy, because you want them to be renting from you and paying you on time. The fifth thing you should do is that be on top of any legislations that may be coming up. For example, energy performance certificates need to be brought up to level C by 2028. It's going to be brought on by 2025. Tenants can easily find out the new legislation just by a search away. So you want to be a professional and get things sorted in according to the legislations for your tenant, so they feel safe in the property and they know you're doing everything by the books. The sixth thing that you could do to keep your tenants happy is that offer incentives. When you have void periods, offer incentives to fill the property up quicker. Or if you're trying to increase the rents in your property, offer incentives in return. And say, okay, maybe the carpet is worn out, I'll change the carpets for you. Or if you feel the property needs to be repainted because it hasn't been done for like 6 years now, then out of good gesture, you can get that done as well. Or if it's a HMO, you know the mattress hasn't been changed for years now. So you can change the mattress. Give something first before trying to get everything out of them. And that's how you develop a healthy relationship between your tenant and you as a landlord. It needs to be very professional, no emotions involved. Rather, you fulfill your end and they are expected to fulfill their end. So these are a few top tips that I have for you to keep your tenant happy and your return on investment secured from your property. I hope you've enjoyed this content. If you have, please do subscribe. I will see you in the next one.